G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well look, if you look outside, it's fine and sunny. The sun's coming up, not a cloud in the sky, yet the Bureau of Meteorology says showers today, 14 to 24 degrees C. So I don't know. I don't know where they get their information from. I think it's just lucky dip, pull her out of an ice cream pot, something like that. But anyway, perhaps that'll change later on in the day, but look, that's fine. If we get showers, we can still play in the shed, but we just can't record anything, and that's fine too. I don't have a lot of time just at the moment. On the weekend, Saturday, Brendan from next door, him and his young fella Chase, there's Grumpy Dave's son, Brendan, they've bought a laser, and so yeah, we spent some time Saturday showing them how to do things, and the little fella's in about grade 4 or 5 at school, and he's got all his mates lined up for dog tags and all sorts of things. So yeah, we mucked around there for a bit. Yeah, I got all because it's winter now for us, the grass slows down. I still need to do the mowing yet, and I may do that today just to see what happens. But yeah, once I mow the whole place once more, well, that'll probably do it for quite a while. Before we go away in August up the Cape, I'll probably mow it before then, just before we go, and that'll keep it tidy for the 5 weeks we're away. So anyway, yeah, round the block here, we spent quite a bit of time on the weekend, or Judy did most of the stick picking. Last week after the stew, I got the little T20 going, and the John Deere with the bucket, and I levelled the paddock a bit. I pushed some high spots into low spots, and then I went up and down with that toolbar and pulled a lot of sticks up. So Judy doesn't mind picking up sticks. She hops on her 148 and off she goes. And so, pardon me, this morning I've got a fire going out the front where we're burning some of the sticks, and I've set up a time-lapse camera. Now, a few people commented, you know, when I say, oh, the sun's coming up or something like that, they say, well, turn the camera around and show us. So, so I've set the camera up so you can see the fire here. You're not looking directly at the sun, so hopefully it doesn't flare out, and as the sun comes up, you'll see the change in the paddock as the shadows change. So just for interest, I think I've set it at 13-second intervals for 3 hours, but I'll probably stop it before 3 hours are up. But you know, if the shadows aren't changing much, we'll just go with that. So, pardon me. But yeah, got all the Roundup sprayed yesterday. Over in the orchard, I'm actually, back in 1998, 99, we put a main line up the fence right up to the top. I'm bloody sure it's right up the top. And we're gonna actually hook into that main and put a tap over on one of the posts there. And you think I can find that damn pipe? I got the shovel out. I got a trench probably 1 metre long, and I sort of thought I had it fairly close to the fence, but thinking back, I did have a ripper with a pipe feeder at the time, so that would have been behind the centre of the tractor. See, we haven't used this main ever, so, but we both remember putting it in. I was on the tractor, and then I swapped and got Jude on the tractor, and I was feeding it into the ripper. So it may just be down a bloody long way, I don't know. But anyway, I've got to try and find that. I'll have to see if I can get water divining happening. See if I can find the bloody thing. We had a pipe coming along the back of the shed from the high tank, and then we had another one where it goes across the dams up to the house. Well, we brought another line up so we could hook them up and have a loop. So when the pump was running, you had feed coming in both ends, because we used to have a lot of sprinklers, you know, the upright ones, and they'd sit on a pipe and go choof, 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 choof around the orchard. But at the time we had horses, and horses and sprinklers don't mix, and we haven't got the orchard fenced off. And horses had rubbed their arse on them, and they'd bloody, yeah, the line, we used to have the line between the trees just sitting on the ground and keep it tidy, and yeah, the horses would be grabbing that with their bloody feet and dragging it, so the sprinklers ended up not working. So anyway, I've decided, well, with the dams full, I reckon it's going to be dry the next 12 months or so. So I thought I'd try and set this tap up over there, and so I can start the pump on the dam and use dam water. At the moment I'm watering the orchard with the 5,000 gallon tank out the back of Bundy Bear shed here, but with the big roof area here it works pretty well. We're not often low on water up the back here, so anyway, we'll see what happens. See if I can find it later. I've been out there on the shovel this morning for a little while. The ground over in the orchard, it's shit soil really. It's when it's wet and puggy, and you can nearly see the ground move, and yeah, you can bog a duck on it. But now it's dry. It's like bloody concrete. Yeah, you got to chip away. So I filled a little trench I did with water last night and just let it soak in around just to make it a bit easier digging. But I've been over there this morning doing a bit of scratching around, and oh, bugger it if I can find this damn pipe. But anyway, someone might have come and dug it up while I wasn't looking. Yeah, we'll just see. But yeah, through the week I did some machining after work. I haven't spent much time in the shed yet again, but in winter, even though we don't have much rain and that normally, it's a good chance to get out in the paddock. It's not too hot to be out in the sun. Like we say, picking up sticks, cleaning up the paddock. Yeah, pruning. I've been over pruning the orchard and things like that. We've got a lovely little citrus crop over there. I'll try and take the camera for a little walk at the end of the stew here. But at the end of the stew there'll be I'll do a little walk around with this camera, and yeah, I'll tack this time lapse on and just see what that's like, warts and all. And this morning with the fire, when I lit the fire about 5:30, 6 o'clock, well, the smoke was going straight up, and I didn't think at the time, but I thought later on I should have popped the drone up. Ideal drone weather, so I may get to do that later, but if the wind picks up I won't. But I probably need drone practice just to get it up there buggering around, so we'll see. Through the week I think I showed last weekend I machined these pins up for the throw-out bearing pivots on the 65 gearbox. I machined them up through the week. They've come up good. There's a couple of little undercuts there, but look, I'm just not worrying about it. I'm sort of happy with how they are. One of the undercuts here will be where the clamp goes for the pedal rod. It's over on the gearbox now. So I thought today I might try and just get that buttoned up, the filming for that part done, and then get back out the paddock and see if I can get a bit of plumbing done. And I think I've probably got enough stuff to put a tap over there, plumbing fittings, but I've got to find the damn thing first. So. Anyone wants to put a day on the shovel, come and see me. Yeah. But a bit of manual labour. So I've got that done. One of my Olight torches, my favourite Olight torch that I used to put on the side of the gearboxes and shine in the hole and that, with the oil from Mechanican, the switch buggered up on it. So I was a bit pissed off about it, because like if you bought them, like it was an $80 torch if you bought it. And anyway, I've pulled it apart and I've cleaned it up and buggered around, and I think I might have it working again. But in the meantime, I went into Trade Tools to look for a couple of lights for, for filming here, and up the end where I like to do the woodwork, have a fiddle with the CNC and the laser. Up that end, because it's under pallet racking, it's a bit dark, so I was looking for a light that I could hang there. So I bought this little one. This is chargeable. It has a USB port. It has so you have off. You have a normal mode, which is the battery lasts I can't remember, a fair while. Press it again and it gets brighter, and then you got a little torch. So that I don't know how waterproof it is. It's probably pretty waterproof. It's got little tags to cover everything up and all that, but probably camping, hanging that up in the shower would not be bad, in the corner out of the way. But I mainly bought it for filming. It's got a magnet on it there, so you can stick it on the side of your transmission housing, and hopefully it holds well enough to, well, it's nearly on the way. So, but yeah, hopefully it's good enough for that. And this other light here, it's a rechargeable one as well. And for putting, so they're Renegade brand, they're from Trade Tools, and this one I can sit down, sit it around wherever I need, hang it up the other end there if I need to. But it's just a, yeah, I just thought it'd be a handy thing as well for, to get a good shot in a gearbox or something like that. You're always fighting for light and get rid of the shadows and things like that. So some of the light setups I have are wild. Even this little light from Bunnings, it's a $2 or $3 light from the hardware shop, and you can turn that on. It's got a couple of double A's, triple A's in the back of it, and that's got a magnet on it too. And when I was doing the gearbox filming, that's what I had sitting down the side. It's slimline, and that gave me the light I needed. So, but then you get to a stage with your light where it just flares out, and yeah, it just doesn't work. So, so anyway, I'll have more lights than the bloody Bunnings shortly, the way we're going. I got my clamps all sanded up the other end there. I've had a big clean up. I've been doing a bit of woodwork. Jude wanted, in the kitchen we've had like end grain cutting board, and when we built the house here in 2003, so it's 20 years, we bought a new little board, I think it's 360 square for the bench, and over the years, Jude won't chuck anything out, and over the years it started to get a bit marked and that, and with the end grain boards, we didn't know for years that you had to actually put kitchen board wax on them and oil and seal the boards up. We just didn't know about that. And so, yeah, so Jude had a pine board and another board, so she asked me about cleaning them up. So I put them in the CNC for her on Saturday afternoon late, and I just decked them. I had to take, and they get warped over time, and I had to take 1 mil off the back of it to give me a nice flat base, and 3.5 mil off the top, and then sanded that down and sanded all the edges, and look, it's come up lovely. I didn't take any photos of that, and it took a while though to do, but Jude loves it. She's there. I've put the kitchen board wax on it and sealed it up, and there was a round one. Now my grandmother, we used to just call her Granny. She was 3 months off 103 years old in the year 2000, no, just before 2000, 1998. And she passed away, and anyway, she had these round cutting boards, and they were just pine. And anyway, Mum took them, you know, and said, oh, well, she'd use them. But over the years, Mum got a bit flash, and oh no, she didn't want them anymore. So Jude and I have had them out in the pool room, and we've put camp ovens on them and things like that. And they just got marked up, and they got bowed as well, just from old age. So yeah, I bought one of them in, and yeah, I've actually made it. I had to run the tool in about 5 mil from the edge to get a nice edge again, and I had to take 4 mil off that, you know, a couple of mil each side, and they're nice now. But the pine that they were made out of, I don't know what it is. Some of the pine, when you sand it, it goes really nice, and then the sap wood, you know, the lighter wood next to it goes real furry, fluffy. And I was right down to 150, 220 sandpaper just to try and feather them out. And I took it outside and I wet the board and all that so the grain would expand, and re-sanded it, and it come up okay. I've still got one to do. It come up okay, but yeah, just the difference in the wood. So who knows how old those boards are? But anyway, we've just given. I've dressed one up. I've got one to do, and we'll give them another life if we can. And yeah, see how we go. I got the bolts and I got all the canopy finished on the back of the Land Cruiser with all the brackets and all that. And last week I went down to the bolt place in Bundaberg and I bought the panhead stainless screws, and I've got all that screwed down, and I've done the test run and it's fine. So I need the ute for work as a ute again now, so I've taken the canopy off, sat it on the Bedford, and where I parked the Betty there with the canopy on the back, it's been too narrow. So yesterday when I was having a shed clean up in the morning, listened to the radio, listened to Macca. Yeah, I've moved the John Deere across, look, only about a foot, and that gives the Bedford nice room to come up in there without having to slide out. You can open the door. So, and yeah, so I took the Johnny out and washed it, the Massey 135 out and washed it because it was getting sawdust on it. So, and now I've brought them back in and put sheets on them to stop the sawdust from down that end getting on them. And yeah, so just these little bloody jobs, yeah. But anyway, I don't mind doing them. I like just fiddling around sort of thing. Yeah, you're not getting a lot done with the tractor restorations or anything, but there's, you got to enjoy what you're doing, and with the place here through winter, it does give us a nice time to catch up and get it all tidy again and fertilise the fruit trees and for spring and things like that. Get that all ready to rock and roll. So anyway, not a lot of interest has happened this week. Oh, Caleb, the Sparex rep, gave me some new hats, and I've been winding him up since the Fergie muster, and they sent for the Fergie fire up down south. They sent us 10 caps, hats, beanies, and all down to the Fergie fire up for us, and that was for the staff, and was to bring them home. But when we got there, they must have got mixed with all the other, but there was no hats for Lance and Jude or anyone. The Fergie fire up people must have spread them amongst the exhibitors, which is fine. And but anyway, I was on to Caleb. I said, "Where's them bloody hats?" So anyway, he sent up some guard lock. Now guard lock is the Sparex brand for their PDO shafts. So he sent some a guard lock beanie, a guard lock cap for Jude, myself, and each staff member, and a nice Sparex cap and a Sparex beanie for Jude, myself, and our staff. So thanks, Caleb. That was a good thing. Yeah, so, and then I said to Jude this morning, I said, I was going to bloody wear my new Sparex hat, and nah, too silly. It's still sitting on my desk at work. Actually, I cleaned the desk and I put them on the side on my shelf where my tractors are, and that's where they're still sitting. So it wasn't on my mind to bring them home. So anyway, that's fine. We'll get there. We're going to have a bit of a shuffle out under the carport with some of the tractors. I've got one tractor there that's going to be a parts tractor. It's going to go out the back. There's actually two that are going out the back. They don't need to be undercover really. They can go down next to the David Brown. And then we're going to have a shuffle of the tractors out there. And we reckon we're going to put the Bedford with the canopy on the back there, and that'll give us a heap more room in here. But anyway, so there's a bit of a shuffle going on there. I have to do that in the dry. If I pick the front of the tractors up and move them around with the forklift in the wet, I just get bogged. I can't get anywhere. So while we're having a dry spell, that'll be the ideal place to do it, or ideal time to do it. So we'll see. But look, that's about it for the stew. There's not an awful lot. I will go handheld and we'll go for a walk around. I'll show you the other end that I've today on my list. I've never hooked my dust extraction set up properly, and I was sanding those boards for Jude, and I bloody had my face mask on and all that, and I was thinking the bloke's mad. He needs to put a bit of time into getting that set up properly, and yeah, getting that worked out. So this morning I'd like to probably get up there and do that too. So today, by the time I find the pipe, that's if I do find the pipe, and do the dust extraction, and I've got a little bit of cutting a couple of pallets up to put on the fire and things like that. So, and I am hoping this week to get the, now I've got these pins done. If I can get that bit filmed, I can sit this gearbox on the tractor and we can start on the back end. I do have to work out somehow now, I've got to swing the arse of the tractor up and get those big heavy cast centres off. I was talking to Gordon Ellis the other day, and the Mark 165 low clearance rims, that same as the English tractors, I've got a set to Howard. They cost me $660 just for the bare rims. And Gordon Ellis, he's got a set for me that my mate JD's going to pick up at the International Tractor get together at Inverell, New South Wales on the 29th of July. So he's got another set there, so another $600. I said, well, I might as well buy them. I've been 9-10 months looking for a set. and they've been hard to find, and Tom from rural reckon he took a while to find any, and Gordon couldn't find any. You know, I rung Gordon numerous times and he didn't have any, so now he does. So yeah, so I'll have another spare set, so if I end up buying another 65 it'll be okay, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll see how far I go, but yeah, at the moment I've got other jobs apart from restoring tractors, and that's just how life goes and how it gets into it. Ross has been away at work. He follows the car show scene and that, so he's down at the Gold Coast. He left on last Wednesday, and he'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday this week. He goes down every year, has a week off, and goes down to the Gold Coast, and apparently they have a really good hot rod show and car show down there. So so we've been a bit busier at work, longer hours at work and things like that. So anyway, that's just how it works. All right, look, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, we'll catch up with you again next week. There will be a couple of Fergie videos coming out on the 65 this week. They're in the can, they're ready to go. Just, you know, how I've done the planetary. I still got to put the detents in, so there is a little bit of filming to do, but yeah, it just depends. I've got to juggle that between jobs outside and things like that. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, just go from there. So stay tuned. I'll go handheld and we'll go for a bit of a walk outside. And look, thanks again. Thanks for dropping by. So this is coming in the side door where I parked the mower and that. So yeah, I've got the tractors moved over a bit and all covered up, all in bed. So I wasn't sure that, you know, having sawdust over them was going to do them any good. So it looks like it's fell off the mudguard over the other side there, so I'll have to fix that. But I've got all the brackets here sitting on the CNC, and along the pallet racking there, I'm going to try and hook up the air. I've got these two big bangers here. This is a cyclone to, boy, that takes a lot of rubbish out, and that's your standard filter setup. So it goes through the cyclone, we catch a lot there, and then it goes into there through this filter setup. So I'm going to try and hook that up today. It's a bit of a shambles on the bench, but look, that's okay. I was looking at putting this here with an air thing on it to, you know, this is where I like to sand, but there's one of those boards that Granny had. This has got a burnt edge on it, but yeah, they just get stained over time, and like we've taken this camping and all that, but we'll dress that off and sand him down, and yeah, they come up pretty good, the old boards. So yeah, it's not too bad. The power source for the electrolysis and all that, I just haven't had time to play with that. So and the 3D printer, it'll probably get it's up the end there. I need to clean it and cover it up as well. It's just a bit of a dusty area, so we'll see. So you can hear the cars, you can hear the birds, but you can hear the cars this morning. And the highway's, probably 3 or 4 k's across the bush there. But in winter, the way the breeze comes, it brings the noise for the cars here. But that's okay. So yeah, the paddock's looking good. We're just burning some of the roots we picked up. I've got the little DJI camera here. It's doing the time lapse for us. So yeah, we got 10 seconds worth of video so far. We'll see. All right, we'll go over the orchard. Okay, over the orchard, and I've got the little ditch dug there, and I'm sure it wasn't that deep, so I'll have to come out this way further. When I think about it, yeah, by the time you run a tractor down the fence there with a ripper on the back, it could be here, but and there's a little scratch up the back there. I had a mark there for some reason. We'll just see. But look, the orchard's been going well. Now this is a grapefruit tree. This is the first year it's had fruit on it, and yeah, look, it's going pretty good. This orange tree, oh geez, we've eaten some oranges off that. Yeah, it's still got a heap on it. But yeah, I gave that a bit of a water yesterday. Come around the back there, there's Yeah, there's quite a few. You'll probably see peels around the place. Jude and I come up and just eat them out here. We pinch one and eat it as we go. This little mandarin tree, I'll come here so it's not flaring out. This little mandarin tree, really loose skinned mandarins. And look, I don't know how many we've had off that tree so far. We've been giving them to friends and neighbours and all that sort of thing, just trying to get through them all. But I'm mainly on, like a keto diet, trying to lose a few kilos, and you shouldn't eat a lot of fruit, but I've been sneaking a few of these fellas. That's a pecan tree. Anyone knows about pecan trees? It's a beautiful little tree, but do you need two? We're hearing that you need two, and we've only ever had one. And this little mandarin tree here, we thought we lost that years ago. Was just a stick. It's got a shoot up there that hopefully we'll sort out. But once this finishes fruiting, we'll cut the old timber back. But these are really nice mandarins as well. The skin's a little bit tighter on these to get off than the other one. But yeah, look, that's okay. We don't worry too much. They're still nice, but for a little tree, we've probably had, look, probably 10 fruit off there, I suppose. You can see where the skin's pulled away here a little bit. So yeah, so the orchard's going really well. I remember these trees here, these citrus trees, I planted them in 2019 over the Christmas break. So Christmas 2018, the start of 2019, and then we had that drought, no water, and I was bucketing water. I was bringing water from town and all that, but I'm glad I bothered now. And that tree there's a macadamia nut, and so is this one. Can you see there? It's a bit dark really. That's the macadamias. So this little tree there, that was just a seedling, that we planted a tree that one just come up naturally, so we planted it, and boy, it's a beauty. Yeah, knocks out some nuts for sure. It'll be too high to handle soon. Then the light's not real good this morning, but then we got a little guava tree here, and when I was watering this yesterday, there we go, little guava's just there. Usually guavas, the fruit fly, I know get them. There's one here, little one there. So, and anyone that's ever tried to grow avocados, you know they're a hard little tree to grow. So that's a seedling one we got going, and yeah, look, it's going well. And these are seedling ones. This one's a seedling one, and we thought we'd lost that in the dry, but well, there's a couple of little shoots there. So over the next week I'll water them up. But yeah, all in all, the orchard's looking good. But up the back there, they're mango trees. We got a lovely Bowen mango up the back there, and the other one's just a R2D2 or something like that they call it. And here is you'd wonder about this little tree. Mum was here yesterday and she's telling me I need to cut this down to about halfway, but that stalk there is a mulberry tree. Skinny looking thing, and Mum's saying, oh, I'll cut the top out of that so it bushes out. So, oh, we'll see. And then this fella here, that was a mandarin or something, and it just died the top, but the bottom shoot struck out, so that's prickly as buggery, so that will end up being a lemon if it ever produces anything. We'll see. And this little tree here, they're all sort of going into hibernation a bit. I had to water yesterday because some of the citrus that are fruiting were starting to drop a couple of leaves because of the dry. But this here, that spindly looking thing, has a white mulberry, and the parent tree of that is at the Nanango post office. So we got a cutting years ago, but it's just been an ugly tree. I should probably come spring take a couple of cuttings off that and yeah, get that up and running. But yeah, they're mango trees, these other ones. So yeah, nice looking little trees. All right, I better get over there and see what the fire's doing. And yeah, we'll catch you later on.